Bull or bear? I'm rolling a 1883 Carson City silver dollar. I can find condition. And she comes up a bear. I kind of doubt this roll based on what we're seeing here, but we'll get into that in a moment. Good evening from beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. 90 degrees here. We're getting back into our warm weather. I'm not sure about the rest of you folks elsewhere in the country. Cold weather, whatever's going on, but 90 degrees, and it's like, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock or something like that, 5:23. Well, you're probably wondering where I've been, and I wonder that myself quite often. So let's get into what we're going to talk about, precious metals. And I'm sure you're wondering, where has Brian been? I mean, markets are up, everything's up. I'm kind of doing the same thing most of my seasoned viewers are doing, is we're watching where it's going. We've seen these up markets here, and we're kind of just waiting for the potential slam moment when, you know, the big commercial shorts come in and they kind of knock it down. And we've talked about it for years, is that we've been, you know, we're, at one point we're all expecting that this will not happen, that it's going to ride. And is this that point? I'm not quite sure. Let's kind of talk about this and see what's going on in the world and why we are at these markets right now. Meanwhile, beautiful day out there. Again, I hope you guys are having a great day. And take a look. It's hard not to have a great day when you're seeing prices like this. Now, mind you, I have not refreshed this screen right here. This is a static screen. I got to refresh it. I'm kind of curious here. Last time I refreshed this was about 15 to 20 minutes ago, and look, we were 8 cents off of that 2,300 mark. According to CCE, one of my favorite sources for information, it's a dealer-only network, but no less a great place to get spot prices. And silver 27.21, platinum 939.69. I'm going to do a quick refresh it here, and I'm as surprised as you are, unless you're watching this in the future, which you will be. So let's see exactly where we are right now, and I'm going to do a quick refresh. And are we? My God, market is closed. I think I saw that 27.21, 29.92, 8 cents off the high. 8 cents off 23. Man, just keeps breaking all-time highs. Silver, getting up into that 2021 highs that we saw, and earlier when we were in that $30 mark for a little while there during the silver squeeze moment, something we talked about many times. And platinum, poor platinum, the red-headed stepchild of all metals. If you think silver is a manipulated market, I'm sure platinum is far worse, being much smaller. And palladium maybe to some degree as well, not to mention being industrial metals. And I mentioned this about platinum being the platinum to gold ratio. I guess you could talk about platinum to silver ratios as well, but the platinum to gold ratio is way off from historical standpoints, and that probably has a lot to do with, again, platinum and palladium being industrial type metals. But where are we going with this? I mean, we're closed right now. The market opens in 35 minutes here, the aftermarkets. I'm kind of curious. I'll be watching tonight. I'm sure most of you folks, by the time you watch these videos, will already know what would have happened. But my guess is it just sure looks like we got to break that $2,300 mark. And just the way it's going, and so we're at 27. I can see that backing off a little bit, but no less. The markets are looking really good for us out there. Let's see if the crooked Crimex people have laid off on their short positions. And again, we're going to discuss, why are we seeing these markets? Are we going to continue to see them? And what lay ahead for stackers? First, I want to talk about the gold to silver chart. One of the things that we're seeing here, and I've talked about many times, is that, gold has absolutely keeps breaking records, even currently. This doesn't show it right here, but we're in a continual dollar, record breaking. Now, that's not if you talk about inflation adjusted. You know what I'm saying? $50 silver back in 1980 is far different than $50 silver now. Excuse me. Let me take a sip here too. By the way, I'm drinking I forget what red wine I'm drinking, but it's actually pretty good. They all are, I'm sorry. And this is the evening broadcast, by the way. This is not a morning broadcast. I'm not drinking wine in the morning, but I've had a long day, and I like doing these shows with a glass of wine here and sharing it with you. Well, anyways, gold has it's it's just continuing to break all-time highs. I mean, think about it. Back in the 1980s when we look back here, and I cannot kind of zero in when silver hit $50 an ounce and gold was near that $800 an ounce level or $900. I forget, it's been so long. But when we hit an all-time there, inflation adjusted, you could probably say at least, conservatively 3 times that amount. So silver really was probably inflation adjusted at $150 an ounce. Gold was probably really inflation adjusted what? $1,500 an ounce or something. Again, inflation adjusted back in 1980. But however, the dollar value at the time was probably a high of $49-50 an ounce in silver, and I think again $800 or $900 in gold. I'm starting to confuse things. It's been a while, but my whole point here is that gold continues. Again, 2011, 2012. Gold hits an all-time high of over $2,000. I forget what it was, 2,000 something. And again, we are busting those all-time highs recently here. Silver, poor silver, yet after 2012 to hit its all-time high. Again, we are half our all-time highs in 2012, half our all-time highs in 1980. And again, inflation adjusted, that doesn't mean much because inflation adjusted, silver would have to hit, in my opinion, at least $75 an ounce to $125 an ounce to be equivalent to the dollar value here. But we're not adding in the fact that silver is really there is a silver shortage out there which really accelerates the whole problem here. We could see far higher silver prices, folks, and I'm really afraid to say how much higher silver prices we could see in a situation, because remember, silver is used. It's used in electronics. Let me just say the word electrical, electronics, whatever, and we all understand how important our world. Silver is a strategic metal, no matter how you look at it, because if you cut off silver completely, the whole world would die. Our electrical system, our electronic. We'd have to go back to lead-based stuff at least and go backwards a little bit. But again, that's not happening. So we still have yet to hit an all-time high in silver. I mean, silver's hit its all-time highs 3 times, inflation adjusted once. and most of you know what I'm talking about if you're kind of doing the math in your heads. All right, well, I'm going to move along here and talk about what to look for in a bull market in silver and gold. Now, I have lived through the 1980 market. I was young, I admit, very young. Perhaps I wasn't paying as much attention as I should. But looking back on it and living through it and being in the business at the time in the 1980 market, I can tell you that I can kind of, in retrospect, look back and see what to look for. Excuse me, my throat is a little bit. Boy, it must be MSG in the wine. I doubt it, but one sec. All right, cleared my throat much better. What to look for? I went through the 2012 market, and I want to tell you really the things that we're looking for. And let me see if I'm getting ahead of myself. What to look for in these markets right now is, I like, and what I saw in 1980s, and for you guys that were around at that time and watch these markets like I have on a daily basis, because you have to, you're dealing with customers all the time. You're watching these markets on a sometimes minute-to-minute basis and an hour-to-hour basis. And at the very least, even when you're on vacation, guys like me are watching it on a day-to-day basis, okay? So what I'm saying with that is that what to look for. In all the markets, the bull markets that I've seen, the genuine bull markets that we're going someplace, the markets are moving up. They move up. You ever heard the term, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back? Well, in a simplification terms, I think that the one scenario in the macro big picture that I have seen, and that's not to say that markets can't move in a big way and then start doing what I'm talking about, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But what you want to look for in a healthy in this market here is, and I could be proven completely wrong on this, but the last 2 markets I've seen is we've seen 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And that's not an absolute rule, but we've seen it move up a bit, back a little bit, up a little bit, and it's taken some time to get to that $50 level in silver, and it's taken time to get where it was with gold, as you've noticed as well. You're taking a couple steps up, you're taking a couple steps back. Huge moves I would be leery of. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now, these big moves. However, don't let that preclude that big moves could also be part of a bull market. So, what we're really looking for, and I think most people are very smart right now, is they're stepping back. Most stackers are stepping back and say, should I buy more at this level? Where are we going from this? We've seen some big moves here. Should I step back and kind of watch, see where we're going? And I agree with that. I think really we should. We should step back and see where we're going with this. And this, again, remember, this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong with this, and I've been wrong before in my life. I'm certainly far from a perfect person, but I do this every day for a living, and I look at this from a macro standpoint. Excuse me, I can't get that frog out of my throat. I know a way to do it. Hang on one second. One more sip. Okay, I feel better now. All right. We're looking for these small, we're looking for these moves up and these moves back. These big moves can frighten us a little bit, and I think that most seasoned stackers are sitting back and not buying and wait and see what direction we're actually heading for. And most of seasoned stackers out there and people that are buying gold and silver in the physical form, on the level that my business sells on and that we're dealing with, and you and I buy and sell, we're happy with what we're seeing right now. So let's kind of take a look. Do you buy more? I would not discourage anyone. And again, my personal opinion, if unless you plan on only being alive for 6 months in a year or 2 or 3 years or something like that, not even 2 or 3 years, a year or so. Again, my opinion. All right. I wouldn't hesitate buying at these prices. I think we're going to see much higher prices here. I think we're at that point where we're going to be moving into the next level, okay? And the next level is obviously above $2,000 per ounce for silver. Someone called me today and said, do you think we'll see 1,200? I didn't even mean to do it. I just laughed. No. Not unless the dollar becomes incredibly valuable at some point and all of a sudden the U.S. makes the dollar more. No, not unless the market is so screwed up. You'll never buy Krugerrands at $1,200. You'll never buy bars at $1,200. So, what to look for. Small incremental moves, not small, but incremental moves upwards with a couple steps backwards, moves upwards. That's what I think I have seen over the last 2 bull markets that I have personally witnessed. Now, will this relay to the current market that we're seeing? I don't know, but I'm kind of just trying to teach you what I know about this stuff. And what do I know? I am a frontline soldier on the precious metals battle lines, which means that I sell physical gold and silver. I sell gold Krugerrands, silver Maple Leafs bars, and Krugerrand, I said it twice. There's the wine kicking in. Man, a half a glass, it doesn't take me much. So, and excuse me here, let me clear my throat one more time. I live on the front battle lines of precious metals, all right? And forgive me for using these photos because these are really, war heroes and stuff. I'm far from that, but just to kind of convey the feeling is I sell bars and coins and stuff to the public. We buy bars and coins from the public. And what I have seen from public buying and selling as a frontline soldier on the public, in the precious metal physical world, we're dealing with the public, is that there's no capitulation whatsoever in gold and silver, none whatsoever. The lines are held solid. These guys are just kind of sitting here comfortable as you could be in a line like that. And we haven't seen major buying either, which tells me we are at a really weird point. I have never seen this in my business or in the last 2 big bull markets where we're sitting at all-time highs in gold. And again, this is from a guy that is sitting on the brick and mortar side of selling a real physical product to people, working class people and people of upper means that like to buy physical metals. It's at a standstill. We're not buying a lot. We're not selling a lot. There's kind of like this what is happening kind of scenario going on. And again, I'm telling you that from a frontline soldier in the physical sales market. And I'm trying to figure it out myself. So what's the stock market doing? It's sideways. Dow Jones is 39,000. The S&P, and I haven't shown this chart in a while. Not chart, but Seeking Alpha, and talked about the other markets at all. But gold's doing well, and I don't. We know that a lot of flow of gold and silver has been going to Asia and India and to Russia and the BRICS countries and such. And we know that the market is manipulated, controlled by the COMEX big commercials that, well, again, I'm just so sick of talking about it. This is something you can watch my videos and you'll know what we're talking about on that. And take a look at the market. Even Bitcoin hit a high and kind of dropped down, but gold kind of seems to be marching along. There's something happening out there, folks. I'm not quite sure what it is. I can't figure it out myself. Again, as a frontline soldier in the physical markets, there's not a lot of there's no capitulation really with gold and silver buyers that I have seen on the physical, bar and stacker side of the market. All right, what I do. All right. So I'm really kind of wondering what's happening in the background. And let me kind of give you some insight here, what Ted Butler has talked about here. And if you don't know who Ted Butler is, he's one of my heroes when it comes to talking about, how the silver markets are manipulated. He is like, who was the guy, the great Randy, that used to out, all the tricksters. Remember the Randy or Great Randy or something that would out the tricksters and how they performed their stuff and, how they were fooling the public. Ted Butler is like that in silver. Ted Butler kind of explained to me many years ago but how I was being fooled that the spot price of silver has no relationship to the actual physical dynamics and the supply and basic supply and demand 101 that we've all learned. That indeed the silver market is built up in a derivative paper marketplace that has completely distorted it in so many different ways. Here's Ted. Anyways, I'm kind of getting a little sidetracked here. Ted says, I'd like to make another point here. This is maybe a potential reason why we're seeing higher gold and silver prices. China hasn't stopped buying. India hasn't stopped buying. The fact that India bought 2,000 tons of silver, a couple of weeks ago or something like that, didn't. In fact, silver prices dropped a little bit in the face of that. So maybe maybe what we're seeing here is maybe some regulatory. Again, I'm just throwing this out there. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe we're seeing some regulatory action happening in about time, if it is, in the gold and silver markets, and only because they're so afraid of. Many folks don't know this, and I'm jumping down another rabbit hole, and I'm kind of sidetracking here, is that Lehman Brothers, the straw on the camel's back with Lehman Brothers in 2008 when Lehman went down and the whole fucking, excuse my language, there's my first F word of the night, the whole system went down in 2008. Lehman Brothers went down because of a short position in silver. That's a fact. That was the beginning. That was a straw that broke the camel's back. And maybe what we're seeing right now is that the FTC and the DOJ or someone in those particular departments is understanding is that we can't go through another one of those. And maybe we're seeing some, and a lot of you guys have probably stopped listening to me and paused this program and read what Ted Butler says here. But let me read this. I'd like to add another point here that is more along speculative grounds, and the points I've made to this point. As you know, I have always strongly petitioned the regulators, including the CFTC, the SEC, and the OCC, and the Department of Justice for what I have alleged to be continuing silver price suppression on the COMEX and OTC derivatives and SLV, excessive shorting, blah, blah, blah. Again, pardon me, Ted, for saying blah, 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 but this is something that we've all talked about for years. Admittedly, the results have been mixed, but succeeding exposing important matters related to how markets function compared to how they should function, according to commodity law, which is Ted's talking about supply and demand, basic 101 supply and demand kind of stuff, organic markets. And Ted says, I may be presumptuous, but I detect a change in regulatory thinking of late. As an example, back in February 2021, at the height of the silver squeeze movement, and again, we talked about that many times in past videos if you want to know about that. The CFTC was quick to come out and pronounce all was good and the under control in silver prices. Silver as prices touched $30, the highest prices had been in nearly a decade. As it turned out, record world silver inventories did hit 1.7 billion ounces briefly, the highest they've been had ever been at the same time, lending a sort of a legitimacy to the CFTC claim that it was only speculation driving silver prices at the time. Now, we have talked about this many times, that the silver squeeze was unrealistic. And trust me, you Wall Street stackers and you guys out there to some point, I mean, it is and it isn't. Our business, the silver squeeze stacker community, my business, selling gold, silver, bricks, stacks, round coins, whatever, to the public to stack and to, hedge their money or to invest, whatever you want to call it, their money. Give me 1 second here. Lost my train of thought there, and pardon me for that. Silver touched $30, and that's the wine actually doing that. Lending sort of that it was only speculation driving silver's at the prime. Yes, the silver squeeze really, folks. My business, all the silver stackers out there and all the Wall Street apes combined could not buy enough silver and gold to really control this market. But taking that market money off the market, or silver off the market over time has been helpful to some degree. But the real issue is the paper derivatives markets, where there is so much silver on paper, not real silver to be had. That's our big advantage. That's your big advantage as a stacker, is that you get the physical stuff and that you will be rewarded for that. But no less, the prices of silver have been driven primarily just in the paper derivatives market. Excuse me there. And actually, at the time in 2021 during the silver squeeze, basically it was speculation driving silver prices at the time. Fast forward to today, record silver inventories are some 400 million ounces less. So we have 400 million ounces less than we did back in the silver squeeze in 2021, when silver prices were even higher than we were. And Ted said, again, sorry, I'm getting carried away. I'm quoting Ted here and then talking about what he's saying. Let me read what he says here. Fast forwarding to today, recorded silver inventories are some 400 million ounces less than they were 3 years ago. Prices have been lower ever since, and every day we get a new sign of the depths of the ongoing physical shortage. And up until very recently, the physical silver shortage has been driven by industrial consumption, with investment demand lacking. I mean, that's what what I've been talking about here, is that the physical stackers, even though you're seeing a lot of cheap silver out there, and that you can buy eagles for cheaper than you have in a long time. You can buy our market, our silver stacking market of 100-ounce bars, kilo bars, 10-ounce bars, constitutional silver, 90% silver. We're such a small market, folks. We don't dictate the prices. Derivatives do, and that's what Ted talks about here. But what we are seeing right now is that we are going to have a silver shortage in industrial consumption. And industrial consumption doesn't mean silver bars or 10-ounce bars or kilo bars. So industrial consumption is 1,000-ounce bars of pure silver that are used for industry to help with electronics and other products that silver is used in. This is the shortage that we're really starting to see kick in. And Ted talks about, once the ETFs start to kick in, and that's a whole different story. We're starting to see that because ETFs are required to own silver. And again, a whole convoluted story. If you like what you're seeing here, definitely subscribe to Ted Butler at butlerresearch.com. Good stuff there. And I'm going to jump out of here real quick. Where am I going to go? Overall, I have always said the reason that you own gold and silver, the primary reason that you own gold and silver, is because of this consumer price index for all urban consumers. If you overlaid this over the price, over a gold or silver chart, you will see that it's kind of inverted. The gold and silver chart would be this chart laid upside down, more or less, with some divergence in some areas and stuff like that. But the beauty of gold and silver, owning gold and silver physical, there's so many reasons why you would rather own gold and silver bars and coins than an ETF. Trust me, folks, even though I trust ETFs and I think it's a good way to buy silver and gold, there's so many reasons that if you talk to me in person, I'll tell you why. That you want to own physical metals, not through your brokerage or through an ETF. But no less, invert this chart. This tells you exactly why you want to own gold and silver, because gold and silver, again, flip this upside down, is like this. You're going to start down here and you're going to see that thing go up. And that's because the purchasing power of the dollar is just consistently going down. And the way you got to view it is that how many dollars can I buy with my ounce of silver? How many dollars can I buy with my ounce of gold? Not the other way around. And I know that kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's something that I was discussing with a customer today. They were saying, well, why do I want to own gold and silver? This is to trade with, and of course, if you watch my last video, you know that's not the case. No, it's a hedge against a falling dollar. Again, invert this upside down. I encourage you guys to do that, and you'll see that gold and silver is the complete opposite of this. So at the very least, you are preserving your dollar buying power, your buying power to be able to live with gold and silver versus stuffing dollars under your mattress. And again, with silver, I think it's so undervalued that we could see a double up and triple up, and that's the really upside of that. But again, that's just my opinion. Wow. Best deals out there, folks. Everything in the stacking world, Krugerrands, Eagles, Maple Leafs, it's all reasonable right now. Gold prices are up. We're not seeing a lot of, again, I'm on the front lines, we're not seeing a lot of buyers out there buying gold, silver, and platinum, and we're not seeing a lot of sellers either of gold, silver, and platinum. Everybody's kind of sitting on the side. But if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, and you believe that this is the takeoff point where we're going to see, much higher prices, hey, listen, I don't think you are going to go broke buying gold and silver even at these current levels right now. All right, I think that you could see a pullback, and it's very likely we will. But again, if you're buying at these levels, don't worry about it. As far as selling, in my opinion, it's a hold or buy moment. I'm a little skeptical about buy. Could we see a pullback? Would that be the the ultimate time to do it? Yes, of course. But buy or hold. That's my opinion based on my experience of all these years doing this. All right. Wow, man, I can't quite clear my throat here. Let me try this one more time. I'd like to thank everybody for watching my last video. Gold and silver bartering is bullshit. I guess I could say bullshit. We're all grown adults. Before you comment on that video, watch it, and you'll see why I say this stuff and why I'm probably right. Meanwhile, let me talk. Man, 59 comments. I don't know if I can get all through the comments here, but let me sort by newest first. My routine here. Go down to the very bottom. I'm going to scroll through here because there's so many, and just thank everyone for watching. Zane, Stackboy, Sick and Tired. What states have made precious metals legal tender? I don't know if states can make precious metals legal tender, to be quite frank with you, to answer that. I think it's something that has to be done by the Treasury and the federal government. States can accept gold and silver as legal payment, but I don't believe that they can set it as legal tender. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tom says, my fine state of Wisconsin just signed a bill that precious metals aren't taxable. That's for sales tax, Tom, not for capital gains. That's a whole different thing. And I agree with you 100%, 20 years too late, but glad it's happening now at least. Rafi, what's up? I don't know if he's listening, but yeah, I actually had a nice, beautiful conversation with Rafi. I like the guy, and smart, very heady kind of guy, you know, an intellectual kind of guy. The end game is afoot. Anyways, I get a chance to kind of do I didn't know if I told you guys, I probably didn't, but I'm hoping to do kind of like a video with Rafi at some time. Storm and Norman says the government has done a good job stealing. Yeah, I know, man. It continues to happen. Hager, what's up, dude? Salty Dog. Yeah, you live in a place where people will take silver. Man, I envy you. In my neighborhood, we're full of people that wouldn't know a silver or gold coin from jack shit. And if it really if everything came down, they'd probably eat me as well and steal my silver and gold coins. But watch my last video to understand why I believe that. Thanks, Salty Dog. Linda Compton, what's up? Thanks. Appreciate you, long-time listener. PM legal tender, check Constitution. I know, Rich. I know that silver is legal tender to some degree, or was at one time. I'm not quite sure what the legal status is right now, but to me, gold and silver are money. You know, they really are. Focus says Rafi will explain when dollar hyperinflates. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing a video with Rafi. Again, I listened to one of his recent videos on anarchy and a couple other things, and you know, he talks about the end game, and that's what his whole the thing is about, the end game, what happens on the end game. It's kind of interesting to discuss that. I don't think we're at that point. You know, I think it'll be a while, and hopefully Rafi and I will be long gone before that happens, but I will have a conversation with him. And again, I like the guy. I think he's a very heady guy. When I mean heady, but very intellectual and smart, you know, smart in general. Let's see. Brian says if government brings having silver for private purchase might be in. No, I just don't think so. Although, again, wait till we do the Rafi video. We'll see if that's indeed the case or not. M1. I got one of those. Showing us girls in bikini. That's okay. Yeah, it's just my video, man. It just happened to be girls in bikinis were in that video, okay? I love your show and the way you say things straight and forward. No BS about you, my friends. Thanks, Gary. I really appreciate that. It seems to be the same as you. The uneducated economist has traded silver for a vehicle twice. Oh, you lost me on that. Are you talking about Rafi? As far as educated, I think the guy is pretty educated. I've traded 1 ounce for silver, 1 chiropractor adjustment would have otherwise cost me $40. Listen, I'm not saying that you. I'm seeing $4.99 contributed here. I'm not saying that you can't trade gold and silver for products and services. I love barter. I think it's really cool. What I'm saying is major urban areas and a lot of areas where it's really going to count before millions of people die, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? If you live in an area that you can trade with people and that they have the resources that keep you alive for a little while, great. If not, buy yourself a couple months worth of food, freeze dried. That's my opinion. You know, and keep your gold and silver, and realize you'll still be using some form of local currency or national currency. Thank you. I really encourage you to contact Rafi and maybe parents. Yeah, Rafi and I, again, I'm looking forward to that as well, sir. Another. There you go. Oh, same guy. But yeah, I agree 100%. Christopher Dubois says 3303. I've been stacking since 78. Hang on a second. You hear this? Many barter service precious metals. Good for you, sir. I really agree with that. If you understand what I said during this video, you'll know that I really explained it well, I think. So watch the video if you want to know why I think that yes and no. It'll be silver can be used for barter as well as gold. Daniel Blast says, I must live in the wrong place. Amish love trading. Again, watch the video. I didn't say that there aren't places where people won't do barter. Daniel, I think you kind of put the comment there before you watch the whole thing, but I agree with you 100%. 20 years from now, Clock Fisher says silver $18. 20 years from now, silver is $18. Beyond Clock Fisher. That's satire, right, folks? What do you call that? Satire, sarcasm? I don't know what the hell you call it. It's like the guy that called me and said, you think you'll see it gold at $1,200? Laughable. Folks around my area like to take cash and gold. Yeah, man, great stuff. Hook up with Rafi. Wow. Thanks, Mark Hill. Thanks, John Thompson. All you guys. If you own metals and ETFs, you don't actually own any metals. True, and yes and no. They do have to back up the silver you buy with real silver, even if you can't demand delivery of it. If you are a large enough entity in the silver ETFs, you can demand delivery, but if you're not, you can't. But they do back up what you buy, I believe, in the ETFs with silver. And that's a complicated process. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that. B. Bustin says, if you sell your gold, you're just selling Chinese or dumping. Absolutely true. Platinum historically has never been considered money. Why lump it in with silver and gold? Paul, you got me on that one. I got to admit, it's never traditionally been used as money, although coins have been used as it, and really isn't commodities, hard, tangible asset commodities, really money to some degree, at least in the barter sense, what we've been talking about. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. No monkey hammering, not yet, sir, but we'll see, Tinfoil Ninja. Silver says, I've just tried to do business with silver, no takers. Silver is pretty much hated or dismissed by most people. Relax. Listen, don't worry about most people. Let's take care of ourselves, our family, and our friends. And if you're stacking, I think you're doing the right job, my friend. Patrick says, you're awesome, man. Thanks for keeping expressing a more sensible view. I appreciate that. Man, my throat finally cleared out. That was the weirdest little thing. Excuse me 1 second. All right. It's not BS. I've done it before. Prepper, I know. Listen, John, I agree with you. If you watch my video, I'm saying that there is the potential of doing that. But I guarantee you, John Bannon, if you live in Miami, Chicago, LA, anywhere in a major area where millions of people live, in a county where, like I do, where millions of people live, hundreds of thousands of people live, you're not using it. It's not going to happen, all right? If you live in, and here you go. Thank you. I'm very rural. You nailed it, brother. That's why you're able to do that. Are collectibles a waste of money? No, I don't believe so. Rare art, even in hyperinflationary Germany, was still rare art. Good stuff is still good stuff. I don't care if it's made out of a paper dollar bill, made out of gold, silver, or something extremely rare and desirable. It is money. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it as far as the barter side goes. I'm not counting wheelbars money. If I sell 20 loaves of bread, how long it take me to count? I suspect that you'd probably eat the 20 loaves before you sold it, my friend. It's illegal to barter with ammo. Fuck them. Anyway, sorry. Oh, goddamn, I said it again. Oh, and I didn't mean to say the GD word. Some of you guys get really pissed about that. But, believe it or not, I'm a religious man, and I don't think that. Religious in a certain way, okay? But I don't think you're going to hell because you say GD. I stack 90% because I like it, history and old coinage, not because of any other reason. That's cool, Jeff Keller, and actually you should get into collecting coins. It's a pretty cool hobby. Leroy says, my corner store will take silver. Yes, yes, yes. We talked about that, Michael Matthew. A sip of wine to you. And when I do my next morning show, I'll do a sip of coffee to you as well. When the net goes down, except for sure, I just, again, only amongst people that know what they're doing. I think you're right about that. If you live in a major city or metropolitan area or suburban area, I think you're screwed. You're going to be dealing in dollars. A lot of them. Thank you, Gold CIC. I really appreciate that. Very nice of you to say that. I kind of read that. Yeah, people are uneducated about silver. And versus Crooked Comrex. Actually, strong stacker. I appreciate that comment, and you're absolutely right. I'm starting to read this stuff. Well, got through this video. Sorry it took me so long to do this. I have just been busier than a one-armed paper hanger. And to all my one-armed friends out there, love you as well. Listen, I've been actually having a lot of fun out here on Twitter, which is now X. You can kind of get away with saying more true stuff out here than you used to. CFTC. God, this is the first damn true thing I've heard about CFTC. Bullion coins, ingots here, common investment grade purity and weight. Numismatic coins are rare collectibles. Semi-numismatic is often made up industry term, but it's not. It's a real term. Semi-numismatic would mean $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces. But however, used in the sense of telemarketing, when they say semi-numismatic, it's really, when telemarketers say that, it means that, bend over, I'm sticking it up your butt. But they got it half right on this one. I got to admit, CFTC, and hopefully they're actually doing something about silver and gold. And by the way, if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter at Brian Kuzmar. Here's my page. I think that's it right there. Got my Racer X uniform on there, and that's it, folks. I'd like to thank you for watching. And as I always say, think for yourself, question authority. And if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, please call me at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. If you live in South Florida, you want to come and visit us, we'll beat everyone out there. I'll do my best to do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. And if you're looking to buy large quantities, call me. I can do it in traditional forms like wires and shipping directly to your address, secure shipping as well. I'll beat, again, all the online guys out there like APMEX, SD, JM Bullion, Miles Franklin, and all those great guys out there. Because if you want to be successful and you want to further your business, which I want to do before I get too old and I get in retirement here, what do you want to do? You want to beat the best guys out there, and that's what I do. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and whatever else you do. Talk to you soon. Have a good evening, and that's it. Damn, lost my train of thought on that one. Oh, what a long day. Good night, folks.